Just let go, yo. Don't be sad, don't you cry, just let go of your pain. And when you fall asleep, no tomorrow's a new day. Don't be sad, don't you cry, just let go of your pain. And when you fall asleep, no tomorrow's a new day. Tonight I'm moving like just let go. Just let go, yo. Just let go. Tonight I'm dancing like just let go, yo. Just let go, yo. Just let go. Don't be sad, don't you cry, just let go of your pain. And when you fall asleep, no tomorrow's a new day. Tonight I'm moving like just let go, yo. Just let go, yo. Just let go. Tonight I'm dancing like just let go, yo. Just let go, yo. Just let go, yo.
drops fall on the window down the hall, and it becomes the morning dew. And darling, when the morning comes and I see the morning sun, I wanna be the one with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us, just the two of us, just the two of us. Building in castles in the sky, just the two of us, you and I.
I don't mean to be hasty. I'm moving fast with the wheel. It's right or wrong depending on your point of view. If I don't know and you don't know, and none of us know, let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. You'll always be open for you to step in the room, but you're not that kind of person I assume. If you don't know, they don't know, and you'll never know. Let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. So many things I can say. One moment I just can't breathe. So I don't know, you don't know, none of us know. I don't wanna talk it out. When I don't wanna talk it out. You don't know what you're missing. Can't you see that I'm here? I'm getting the feeling you want me to disappear. What do we do? Where do we go? What do we know when we're all alone? Trying to catch you in the middle of the night.
This is a test, this is a test, this is a test. Let me know if you guys can hear me. And if you guys can, let me know by smashing the like. Because I can't see the chat right now. All I can see is the like button. So smash that like button so we can get started with the Bitcoin halving event. Alright, let's get started. I'm just getting comfy. I'm struggling to get comfy, guys. Oh man. And there we have it. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dex and I welcome you back to another Mango live stream. This one's going to be a special one because we do have the Bitcoin halving that just took place, and oh my god, can you believe it? Yet another halving. That's insane. That's insane. Wishing you guys all a happy freaking halving. Looking forward to spending another 4 years with you. Looking forward to seeing all of you here in the next halving as well, 2028. Because remember, guys, We at Mango, we do it for the long-term gains because that's where the life-changing money is, right? The biggest trend of it all, the biggest trend is gonna be on the monthly and the yearly chart. It's gonna be us looking towards 2028. So we're gonna keep stacking sats or Cardano, whatever you guys want to stack, right? But try to hold some Bitcoin too, right? You guys are seeing why Bitcoin is always good to have in your portfolio. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Should you be looking to buy this event or sell this event? But before I go on any further, just give me a quick double check on the audio. Is the music fine? Etc. etc. I do have a drink with me today as well to celebrate. Awesome. Good to see you, Sherwin. Good to see all of you. We got Stanton, Mark, we got Alex, we got Franklin here too, Chris, Red Liger. Sell and restack should be the aim instead. I don't know about that, man. You don't get cute. Don't get too cute. Don't get too cute. Of course, yes. You want to be selling at opportune times when things are out of equilibrium. But not all of it. Never all of it, because you don't know. The only thing for certain is that we don't know shit, right? Technical analysis is not about predicting the future. It's about assessing probabilities and playing the probabilities. Anything is possible, guys. Anything is possible. We play the probable and sometimes the plausible, provided we have asymmetric returns to the upside. Sell because I'm buying in the other. All right. We should start. Do you guys want to jump right into the Bitcoin halving stuff, or do you guys want to talk some TA first? I kind of want to sit and chill with you guys today, but we could talk some charts. I'll give you guys a general strategy that everyone should be doing every halving. The general strategy is just take your entire Bitcoin portfolio and sell half of it. No, don't do that. It is April, so I get to make a couple of April Fool's jokes. Sean's like, oh my god, he just had a heart attack. Yeah. All right, there's a few things to talk about on the dashboard that I do want to come back to. So can someone keep track of the things that we do need to come back to before we talk about the halving? But something really interesting here that we did talk about in Seed as well, in the Seed mastermind session that we had on Thursday. If those of you, I should do a quick housekeeping. If you guys are in the Seed private chat, right? You guys have access to the Seed Clubhouse mastermind sessions. This most recent session was recorded as well, where I gave you guys a in-depth analysis, deep analysis on market conditions, monthly, weekly, 4-day, etc., and how we should be playing it, as well as we discussed a confluencing of factors, including Trisha's analysis. It was recorded and posted by Mark in the resources section, so go ahead and check that out. Today, we're not going to have time to talk about everything. There were some cool things that we did discuss there, so you guys do want to check it out in regards to equilibrium as well. Okay, so we're gonna now quickly discuss a couple of halving chats. I'm not gonna go too deep into any of this because you guys can't know the general gist. But we're gonna talk about things that perhaps nobody else is talking about. Everyone's talking about, oh hey, the halving is here, Bitcoin supply is gonna reduce, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's true, right? But I do want us to all take a moment to appreciate the ideology behind what just happened today. I want you guys to all just sit down and think about the fact that together, collectively, we the people, we the node operators, collectively decided and came to consensus that we will reduce the issuance of Bitcoin by half. Okay, not a CEO sitting somewhere, not a board of federal policy open market committee members. No, 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 no. We the people together, globally, around the world, we collectively came together and decided that, you know what? What's best for this money that we, the people, value, that we, the people, save our hard-earned effort into, our sweat, blood, and labor, where we store all of that, we are going to reduce the issuance to the miners. It's not the miners who decided. We, the people, decided. Never before in the history of humankind have the global population been able to come together and make a decision on a global monetary supply. So screw the fact that Bitcoin could go to 1 million, 500,000, etc. All of that is in your minds right now, right? It's not as important as what we, the people, did. Sitting at $1 trillion market cap. This is no longer a small thing, guys. This is accepted globally as a money. No one's laughing anymore at Bitcoin holders, right? You guys are probably noticing that back in the day, just like 4 years ago, if you told your mom and dad, your grandmom, or your boss that you hold Bitcoin, they kind of like scoff at you and smirk at you. Now, no longer. This is unprecedented. This is going to go down in history. 1,000 years from now, they will be talking about this period, because never before have even a country of people been able to come together and decide on what should the monetary policy be. We, the people, decided. And this was more, the reason, by the way, guys, a lot of people don't know and think about this, right? Let me give you guys some history. Give you guys some history. In 2017, the 2016 halving took place, etc., etc. But Bitcoin went on a crazy run somewhere around August to the end of the year, right? Was it just like euphoria, etc.? Yeah, that was part of it towards the end. But why was Bitcoin picked up so heavily around this period? August. Because you know what took place in August? There was the Bitcoin, the block wars, right? Basically the decision as to whether Bitcoin should go down the Bitcoin Cash route or the Bitcoin we love route. And there was a huge, I don't want to use the word conspiracy, but a rally or a coup d'etat, or how do you pronounce it? Coup d'etat? I know how to type it, I know how to spell it. But there's a coup almost, right? There's a coup where the miners got together, the CEOs got together. Coup d'etat. Chris is trying to help me out. Yeah, but the miners got together, the CEOs got together. Your beloved CEO of Coinbase, right? All of these guys got together and they tried to sway Bitcoin, the Bitcoin Cash route, right? All of them voted for Bitcoin Cash. They wanted Bitcoin to go down the Bitcoin Cash route for their own agenda, not for what was best for the people, but for their agenda. It was attempted. All of these guys. And they lost. They lost. The people won. The people, the silent node operators who weren't as loud, they just voted the right direction. And that decision, guys, rallied Bitcoin's future. So yeah, that's what just happened today, guys. It's this, all of that, the people decided on Bitcoin's monetary policy, and till today, from 2017 to 2024, it's the people who get to decide, not the miners. Okay? Not the CEOs of various companies. It's us. It's us, the node operators. If you want to, if you get to choose, right? Just run a node and you get to choose to vote. Someday you may vote differently. You may vote that, you know what? I don't want Bitcoin's issuance to halve anymore. I want it to keep going forever. Maybe you will vote that, but you, along with everyone else, you get to vote. Okay? So yeah, that's yeah, a lot. Yeah, so a lot of people don't know about Bitcoin's history, man. There was a lot of there was a dark time. There was a dark period where Bitcoin could have gone a completely different route, guys. Completely different route. And we, the people, voted. And now again today, we all voted for Bitcoin to halve its issue and supply. No one will, like all the plebs out there, okay? All the your naysayers, your doubters who don't understand, who'll keep talking about, oh, but Bitcoin is used for drugs and for smuggling and for money laundering and for terrorists, blah, blah, blah. They don't get it. They don't get it. There's asymmetric advantage in just your knowledge over here, guys, and what this ideology is all about. A revolution began in 2008. And we get to be part of it. And we are so small in the grand scheme of all of this, guys. We're gonna, this entire period, these 100 years are gonna be looked back upon as a turning point in financial history. These 4 years, these 12 years, the next even 20 years is gonna be insignificant. You're gonna feel like it's huge. But when the historians study this period, they're going to be looking at one yearly candle or one decade candle. They'll be looking at the candles in decades. Like when you study the 1920s, when I studied the 1920s, the 1800s and all, I'm not looking at what happened in 1923, 1924. No, I'm just looking at, hey, what happened in the 1920s, the whole decade? What happened there? I don't care about all the interim fluctuations, right? Similarly, they're not going to care. They're going to be looking at, whoa, 2010, 2020, something was born. What happened in a decade? Holy shit. Oh, wow. 2020, 2030. Wow. Oh, how did this thing do during the whole pandemic era? Holy shit. It killed it. Okay, what did it do after the rise of AI, 2030, 2040? That's how everyone else will be looking at things. So don't lose sight of the forest, guys, for the goddamn trees. All right, now we can talk about charts. All right, so what I've done over here for you guys is I've marked out each one of the Bitcoin halving events. I'm going to zoom out, okay? 2012 halving, 2016 halving, 2020 halving. And a lot of people are talking about various things. And I'm going to mention something that I don't think has been spoken about. And maybe it has, because this is so obvious to me. It should have been spoken about, but I don't watch any YouTube channels. I do scroll through Twitter these days to get a good idea of what people are talking about. I've not seen this. But if you simply buy at each halving, okay, and Bitcoin goes on to put on a new high after that, the low that comes, the cycle low that comes after that, doesn't come anywhere near where you bought on the halving. Doesn't come anywhere near the price of the halving, the previous halving, right? So what do I mean by that? The first halving, 2012, if you bought, you'd be buying somewhere around $10 to $11, okay? Bitcoin went on to put in a new high. If you look at it at this high, 260-ish, and then came down to put a low at 67. That low at 67 was nowhere close to the 2012 halving price, right? It was 6x away. And some people look at this as the high. If you look at this as a high, then this would be a low over here at 160. Well, you were 16x away at that point, right? The low was way. The low of the next cycle, where you guys got to understand that if you simply bought over here at 10, and then people went through all this depression, even if you bought here by the way, it's not like if you buy here, you're feeling good about price dumping from 1,000 to 180. You don't feel good about that shit, regardless, okay? It doesn't matter that you were feeling great about it just when we rallied the first time around to 230. If you see your wealth grow 5x and then dump, you feel like crap. But it's still 16x more than when you bought. If you bought the halving. Again, over here, next halving in 2016. If you bought the halving at around $500-ish, right? 400, 500, doesn't matter. You can be approximate with it. You put in a new high at $20,000. The low came in only at $3,000 after that, right? Only 3,000. So you got a really nice gain even if you were sitting from the halving price to the low of the previous cycle, let alone the freaking high of the previous cycle. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it, Isaac. Isaac's like, I'm going to go all in now. Okay. Now again, after 2020 COVID, we had our halving again. Okay, again. It's funny, guys. History rhymes. We had like a global event, and now we're having global events around the halving. Back in that halving, everyone was less excited. All your retailers got less excited about the halving because they got distracted with all the global events. And over here too, it was the same story. But we'll come back to that. Going back to our thesis that if you buy the halving, price going up to put in a new high, the low after that is very far away from the halving price, the previous halving price, right? Because if you bought the halving at around $8,000 to $7,000, somewhere around there, the low came in only at around $16,000, so a 2x, right? But each time, the low had diminishing percent gains or multiples, right? First time it was like, what was this? 11 to 5. So that, no, wait, that wasn't the first time. Oh wait, yeah. If you're looking at this as the low, 160. So it was 11 to 160. So 16x. Then you're looking at 5 to around 3,000. So that's a 660x, right? Yeah, 500 to 3,000, right? Then you're looking at around 8,000 to 16,000, which is around a 2x, right? Sorry, this is a 6x, not 60x. But either way, you're diminishing, right? That's the point I'm trying to make. Now we just have a halving, so we can go ahead, place it somewhere around there, 63,000, right? And we can type 2024 halving. Okay, cool. So what's the thesis, guys? That if you buy the halving, I'm going to put it this way. If you buy the halving, provided we go on another cyclical run, the next low is going to be way higher than the halving. That's the thesis. And this kind of sits against some of my other targets for the next cycle, right? Because when I was sitting and doing my analysis and my forecasting, again, forecasting is only that, right? It's a forecast. It doesn't mean it needs to come to fruition. There's always a if this, then that. But I was looking towards $60,000 to around $48,000 being a potential low for the next cycle. Now, if we are to follow the same pattern, I could be wrong in that. I could be wrong in that because we shouldn't come anywhere close to this price for the next low, right? And this kind of sits with another thesis that I have that is now coming back on the table, because initially I'd thrown that thesis aside, which was around a Bitcoin price of around $350,000. I'd thrown that thesis aside because Bitcoin was moving too fast for my liking. If you guys do remember, I'd said when we took out the high, I'm like, guys, if Bitcoin keeps going, right, when we took out this high over here on the weekly basis, I'm like, guys, if Bitcoin keeps going, I'm putting around a 30% to 35% probability on the cycle ending by June to July, this summer essentially, right? And the more Bitcoin goes, so for example, if we start closing at 80,000, 85,000, I would be increasing that probability to like 40%, 45%. If we were sitting at around 90,000 by now, I'd be like, there's a big chance the cycle is ending soon. So believe it or not, this pullback is much needed because my confidence for a longer term cycle is coming back on the table. Now we can talk about that some other time. Today we want to talk about the halving, right? But this is confluencing now. Us having a bigger cycle is kind of lining up with this. Stanton says, such a simple truth that makes me look like an idiot for not buying now. There's some very, very simple truths that nobody's talking about, Stanton, that I've been talking about over here at Mango. Another simple truth that I've been talking about was, if you buy at the beginning of the year, if you buy Bitcoin at the beginning of the year, provided that we've not had a parabolic run already the previous year, there is a massive probability that you're going to be in profit by the end of the year. Right? We talked about that multiple times, right? Again, I'm going to write down this, I'm going to say out this, I'm going to state this thesis, and you guys should write it down. If you buy Bitcoin at the beginning of the year, provided we've not had a parabolic run the previous year, there's a huge probability that you are going to end in the green by the end of the year. Essentially, you should just buy Bitcoin Jan 1st, right? Buy Bitcoin Jan 1st, provided we've not gone on a parabolic run in the previous year. And we go on a parabolic run only once every like 4 years, right? So most of the time, 3 out of 4 years, it's good to buy Bitcoin on Jan 1st. Another thing to do is, most halvings, it's good to just market buy Bitcoin, right? So that's kind of what I've been kind of getting slowly scaling back into position, right? I've been telling you guys that I've been waiting for the weekly dynamic, but we're sitting over here now on the 4-day dynamic, and just I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to have to start scaling in over here. The time is compressing as well. I'm still leaving gunpowder for the weekly. We'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, that's another simple truth. Just buy the halving. Narratives always seem to arrive at the right times. It's the price that dictates the narrative, not the narrative dictating the price. You have to ask, what will price do based on your TA, and what narrative will form around it to justify it. Okay, now here's another Bitcoin halving chart. I like this one because it kind of shows, not because you should trade it, but it kind of shows the history of Bitcoin all in one compressed format. Okay, he says here Bitcoin's growth trajectory after the fourth halving. Now this is misleading because this in no way should imply to you that Bitcoin is gonna follow any of this. Okay, but gives you a general idea of how Bitcoin has performed in the past. Right, and since we know history rhymes, it does not repeat, we'll get an idea of human behavior over the past based on Bitcoin's halving. Okay, now this is a bit different compared to other charts that you probably see where the person will show the Bitcoin halving to the high and kind of cut off the chart. Right, what this guy has done over here is he starts the chart over here at he starts a graph at the day of the halving, and he goes all the way to the next halving. Right, so you can see over here 2024 to 2028, and you're probably thinking, okay, whoa, I thought this was Bitcoin's historic halvings. Yeah, he's basically taken each one of those 4-year time spans and placed it on today's date. Okay, so it kind of also, I just realized it kind of also shows you what I just showed you, right? Yeah, it kind of shows you what I just showed you, that if you simply bought in any of the halvings, if you just bought Bitcoin on the halving, right, you ended up in the green by the end of the next halving, which kind of lines up with what we were talking about in the first 2 minutes of the stream, where I said I'm hoping to see all of you here in 2028, and all of you should be here in 2028, provided you follow one simple rule: keep some Bitcoin with you, no matter what. No matter what, even if you see a massive bear market, try not to sell. Especially if you somehow time the top, guys. Okay, if you somehow time the top, you are gonna get so tempted to want to sell all your Bitcoin. Because while you're selling, right, you'll always be in profit, right? Because once you sell the top, it gets easier to sell on the way down. And you may end up selling all your Bitcoin because you're trying to milk it all. And then all it takes is one big candle to lock you out of position. It's happened to some of my friends in a bad way, and now they're realizing that shit, I should have just held some at least. Okay, so just hold some Bitcoin, even if you time the top, and we're going to try to time the top over here at Bitcoin at Mango, not perfectly of course, but we're going to be here to kind of assess the trend, etc. So make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe button, etc, so you don't miss during that euphoric phase where everyone's going crazy. We are going to be keeping a cool head. But what does this chart tell us? A few things. Let me first explain it. Each one of these lines over here is representing each of the halvings, right? So this green line here on the periphery. I'm going to zoom out. This thick green line over here, zoom in rather. This thick green line over here is the first halving, okay? Trajectory after the first halving. So what it's telling us over here is that if Bitcoin follows the same trajectory as the first halving, then we'll peak, the first peak is going to be at $1.2 million, and then we peak again to $4.5 million. Provided we follow the same movement in terms of percent, okay, Bitcoin will peak at $4.5 million. Now, the red line over here is the second halving. If we follow the trajectory of the second halving, right, which is the 2016 halving, Bitcoin peaks at around, I would say, $2 million, right? $2 million approximately. Okay, so the first halving, if you follow that pattern, we're going to peak at 4.5 million. The second halving, if you follow its pattern, we peak at 2 million. Provided Bitcoin starts at this price, which it does, that's written now, we will then peak at $2 million if we follow the same percent movements that Bitcoin followed in the 2016 halving. Now, if instead we follow the same price movements as the most recent cycle, which was the 2020 cycle, then Bitcoin peaks at only around, I would say, $400,000, right? Yeah, $400,000. Does that say? Yeah, I would say, yeah, around approximately 400, right? What do you guys think? Is that 500 or 400? Let's say 450, right? 450. Is 0.1 BTC a decent hold? Yeah, I think so. Why not? Why not, man? Of course, it depends on which country you're living in and how long your duration is. If you're living in a more expensive country, then you want a longer duration, and 0.1 Bitcoin is going to be a lot of money in given enough time. So, yeah. Where were we? Yeah, we were talking about basically the prices Bitcoin could get to if we follow different trajectories based on the past. Now, what's important to actually look at is the average line over here, right? And does he list it down, the average? He just gives you an upper bound and a lower bound over here, and the lower bound is actually 140,000 and the upper bound is 4.5 million, right? I would discard both of this and not use any of these as numbers, right? Because look at that range, that's a massive range. It's not actionable at all, but it gives you a behavioral analysis of the entire crowd for each of the cycles that we know Bitcoin is likely to go up, okay? We want to follow the trend. If the trend breaks, we're not just going to hold and say, okay, no, Bitcoin halving, I'm just going to hold forever. No, the trend breaks, period. Yeah, the average is the thin blue line. So the peak is, I just wanted to know whether he listed it out over here, right? And the average peaks in around 1.2 million? I wouldn't even put too much. Like, it doesn't really help you, right? It doesn't really help you. So what does this tell us though? It tells us basically what I talked about in the beginning, that we are likely going to be higher in the middle, right? We're going to have a high parabolic move, and by the next halving, you will still be buying higher than this halving price if we follow the same signature. And so far, this signature has held. Every cycle, right? So 4 years, four makes a trend, guys. 3 makes a trend actually, but 4 makes a strong trend, right? So we've held this every single time. So everyone's gonna be looking at the price. Everyone's gonna be like, how rich can I get? How rich can I get? But I don't want you guys to be doing that. I want you guys to be looking at the end over here. I want all of you to look at the end result, okay? At the end result, because the risk in each one of these cycles, okay, was extremely high the further you go back. In fact, like I was telling you guys, in 2017, Bitcoin went through some dark times. Things could have gotten really bad, and we could have never seen the Bitcoin we see today, right? The risk was tremendously high. at around $1,800 to $3,000, and we still got to buy those prices back in the bear market. But people don't understand the risk that was de-risked between now and then. Similarly, the risk right now at 60,000 is far less, and Bitcoin's far more liquid. So you get gains and you can allocate. The point I'm trying to make over here is actually this, that you can allocate far more capital to Bitcoin and feel safe about it. You can't allocate as much during this phase away. Like, would you have been wanting to allocate to Bitcoin? Everyone says, "Oh man, I wish I knew about Bitcoin back then," you know. But would you have allocated to it, knowing that there were these wars going on, that there was a civil war going on in the Bitcoin community? Would you have allocated? No, you wouldn't have allocated with much confidence. Your position size would have reflected everything that was going on during the fundamentals at that time. Can the halving cycle be changed? Is there a limit to the halving? I thought were you there for the beginning of the stream where I talked about how we've all come together as globally, we the people have decided what the monetary policy for Bitcoin is. Yeah, the halving cycle can be changed as long as everyone collectively comes to consensus on that. But it won't. I doubt people would do that. So Red Liger has a really good question. Since you mentioned sell and restack is too risky, do you recommend we take profits on maybe half or so of a stack and DCA back when we are in a bear market? I can't give you financial advice to that extent, man, because I don't know your financial situation, etc., etc. There's way too many factors that you need to take into consideration. But what I can say is this, okay? We have an opportunity as millennials, Gen Xers, boomers, whoever, like, I think most of the audience over here sit how to put this, all of us are going to have at least 20 years of exposure to this asset, in my opinion. Okay, 20 years of exposure to this asset. Like, you don't want to be looking back at an opportunity of a lifetime and thinking, shit, all I had to do was hold a tad bit and I would have become super wealthy, right? You gotta understand that if you get a 15% return compounded over 20 years, okay, in like SPY or whatever stock market that you are trading in your country, that's gonna be sensational compounded returns over a period of time. Because think about it, right? 15% at a 15% return every 4.8 years to 5.2 years, you're going to be doubling your money. Okay, so now if you take 20 and you divide that by around 5, that means you're going to be getting a double every 4 years. You'll be doubling your money every 4 years. Okay, which means that if you go, you'll be like what, 16xing your money, right? Yeah, you'll be 16xing your money in a 20-year in a 20-year span. You'll be 16xing your money in a 20-year span. So think about that. If you put in a $10,000, if you just put $10,000 over 20 years, okay, at a 15% compounded annual growth rate, you'll be making $160,000. Okay, this is quick napkin math, of course. Okay, now this isn't effing SPY and Sensex. Let's take the same shit and you do Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is not going to be doing only 15%. Bitcoin is not going to be doing only 30%, the double of this, right? Bitcoin is going to be doing, I don't know what Bitcoin is doing right now, what, 89% compounded annual growth rate, right? Bitcoin over, let's say we have diminishing returns, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we have increasing returns. Who the hell knows? But I don't think we could be doing only 15% over the next 20 years. Let's even be extremely conservative and say picking 30% compounded annual growth rate, right? We average it out, 30%. You're gonna now you do the same math. Every what, 2.5 years you're doubling your money, right? So you go 20 divided by 2.5, whatever number you get over there, and you do the same math. You're gonna realize that you'll be xing at 64x or 128x. I think it's 128x. Yeah, I think you're going to get 128x. So again, I'm going extremely conservative on my estimations for Bitcoin's CAGR over here, and we're still looking at 10,000 at a 128x multiple. What do you want? What does it turn into? 1.28 million. Okay. I don't know. Someone double check my math, but these are the wonders of compounding your money, right? So, with all of that at the back of your mind, what I do want to say is that millennials have had a raw deal, right? Millennials have had a raw deal. This is our opportunity. Okay, we didn't get real estate, depending on what country you are in, of course, but most countries did not get a good opportunity at real estate. We didn't even get stock market opportunities because, well, stock markets are price to earnings ratios are all like crazy multiples. We didn't even get the bond market. The bond market, if you were a Gen X or a boomer, you got to invest in bonds and like high yield corporate bonds at what they were sitting at 16% to 20%, right? So 16% to 20% yields means that while those yields have compressed over the last like 20 to 50 years, those bonds have gone up in value. So we didn't get real estate, we didn't get bonds, we didn't even get the stock market. This is our opportunity, right? So you don't want to get too cute with this and think back and be like, shit, why did I get cute with this? Now, I'm not saying just hold. I'm just, my ultimate conclusion to this huge rant is, based on these numbers, do your own math, but based on these numbers, come up with a Bitcoin stash that you just don't touch, no matter what. Be like, this is my hard effing rule, okay? I swear on Sean's name that I will not touch this Bitcoin, okay? And then come back to me in 20 years and either tell me, Sean, you're a fucking idiot for telling me not to sell because this shit has gone to zero. Or tell me, hey, Sean, thank you. Because of that small amount that I decided not to touch, okay, that did not affect me financially whatsoever, because I was okay with holding this for 20 years. I didn't need that money. Thank you for that, because now I have money for my grandkids, for me and my wife to enjoy all the vacations we want, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, I didn't know whether you're a millennial or not. I want to speak to all of you guys. Like, only the millennials over here have the opportunity, etc. I'm saying the millennials over here are in the toughest situation, and we need this. And no, the Gen Zs too, who are in a tougher situation, right? But don't mess this up, is what I'm trying to say. The thing is, right, if you're a Gen Xer and you're a boomer, you guys should be even frothing in the mouth even more for this, because you guys have the capital. You guys have so much buying power compared to millennials to actually allocate over here, provided you put in the effort that your peers aren't. Most boomers and most Gen Xers are not putting in the effort to understand all of this, because when you're already kind of successful through the corporate world or through the investment world, whatever, right, you don't have that hunger, right? You don't have that hunger to actually go out there. You get complacent. Since you guys are here, right, you can outdo everyone else because you have the buying power, the 10x buying power the millennials don't have. You can take a freaking HELOC at a 4%, 5%, 3% interest rate on your home. Take a small amount. That's what I'm not saying do that, right? But you have the ability to do that, right? You have the ability to tap into a pristine asset like your home if you want, like, let's say you're like $16,000 Bitcoin, $20,000 Bitcoin, this is ridiculous. Don't do it now. Don't do it now at these prices. No one do this. But $16,000, $20,000 Bitcoin, you're like, man, you know what? I think this is crazy. My home price has gone up drastically by like 5x. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna draw a small amount of equity from my home. $40,000. I'll pay it off over the next like 10 years. I'm pretty sure Bitcoin is going to outperform the small portion of my home equity, right? Over the next 20 years or 10 years, whatever. You can literally pay $40,000 of equity off over 10 years is very, very easy to do, right? Amortized over 20 years or 10 years, whatever. It's going to be very, very easy to do. And you'll get 2 Bitcoin. 2 Bitcoin, right? At 20K. More if you bought at 16K. And now you already made that money back, right? So now you basically withdrew $40,000 of home equity from your home. Okay, you got 2 Bitcoin, and prices moved up to $60,000. $120,000 your 2 Bitcoin is worth. You basically sell a bit of Bitcoin to pay down half of that loan that you took out from your home. Now you have only a $20,000 home equity loan that you've taken. You just keep writing that off, and then because it goes up for another 2x, you take another $10,000 out. And, yeah. I mean, I'm not here to give. I'm not a financial advisor, guys. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm not your normal crypto pro either. I think like this. Boomer year. I don't have 20 years. I don't know, man. Medical advancements, etc., etc. Like what? Charlie Munger lived till 90, and you need to understand, like what, 90, 99, 99, right? Bro, this is not hopium. None of this shit is hopium. Okay, Charlie. Okay, I want you guys to understand. Charlie Munger lived till 99 with the medical advancements available to him during his lifespan. I think many of us are going to be living till 120. So if you're 60, you got another 60 years. Okay. The risk right now is people all realizing, shit, I'm living way longer than I expected to, and I only planned to live till 80. Holy shit. I can't believe we've gotten through two charts. Didn't do any TA today. I guess this is all TA, right? But yeah. We good? Should we just wrap up the stream here? You guys enjoying this rant on your future? Smash the likes if you guys are. This is spiritual TA, yeah. Chicken soup for the soul. I love it. All right, we can talk about some cooked tea right now. I'll pull up the. Okay, I want to give a shout out to Blag for posting this screenshot because it's been helping me share my plan that I listed out to you guys, to everyone who's asking me questions. Hey Sean, what should I do? I'm like, here's the plan. Right. And I lost this, right? I don't have any of this on my charts anymore for some reason. It all got cleared out. But this was what we discussed in the previous live stream that we did, like live. I said that, hey, I'm looking for, this was like what, 8 days ago, 10 days ago, something like that, right? 8 days ago. I said, hey, I'm looking for the 4-day dynamic to get tested. Okay. Then I'm going to be looking for a few 4 days of consolidation. I was very specific. Okay, I didn't say I'm looking for 4 days of consolidation. I'm looking for a few 4-day candles of consolidation. And then hopefully we get a weekly dynamic retest. So basically consolidate on the 4-day dynamic, a wick down to the weekly dynamic, okay, round the consolidation, and then new local highs. Essentially, I'm still bullish. Bitcoin halving took place. You guys know that, oh hey, buying at the Bitcoin halving is usually a really, really good idea. Well, on top of that, we are sitting on the 4-day dynamic. So we got the 4-day dynamic retest. Do we have the few 4-day candles of consolidation? We only got 2 so far, guys. We only got 2 so far, right? I'm going back to the plan. Oops, where's the plan? I have too many tabs. The plan. Few 4-day candles of consolidation, followed by a weekly dynamic retest, right? So we have the 4-day dynamic getting retested, and I'm looking for a wick down to the weekly dynamic, which I'm going to go ahead and turn on, is coming in currently at 58,365. Now here's the thing. We're closing a weekly candle in 1 day and 11 hours, which means that this dynamic is going to print a new number, a new level for us to look at. And it's likely going to be higher, right? So that you have to keep into consideration. It's going to become easier to get that weekly dynamic retest. It's going to come up higher. And this 4-day now, oops, my bad. 4-day, sorry guys. 4-day, which is right over here, could come down, wick slightly underneath, tap into these lows as well. This low, I don't believe has been tested yet. This low from coming in from March 24th has not been tested yet, right? So we could test that and get us a weekly dynamic test as well. Tap into all the liquidity. Order flow module, guys. We talked about all of this, right? If you guys are on the C program, watch the order flow module. Watch the order flow module. If you guys just joined the C program, don't skip to it. Don't skip to it. All of you guys are noticing how everything comes together. In fact, I got a really, really good review today from Tremo. Shout out to you, buddy. You honestly gave me a boost of energy when I read your review. I'm not going to read it out over here, but yeah. Anyways, everything is I crafted that program, guys, where everything flows into each other. So don't skip modules. But if you guys have already finished all your modules, rewatch the order flow module. It's Krisha's favorite module, for example. So we could tap into that and see the weekly dynamic get tested too, because all the liquidity is likely going to be down there, and then new highs after that. That's how I'm trading it, right? Now, here's the thing. Here's where we may not see, because remember guys, I'm not saying that this weekly dynamic test is definitely coming for certain. I'm saying that I am playing for it because I'm already in a Bitcoin position. I specifically said to all of you that if you're not in your Bitcoin position, you should be scaling in to your Bitcoin based on the 4-day dynamic, right? You should be scaling into your Bitcoin. This is a good time. Me, myself, I'm kind of capitulating on time over here because I'm like, okay, this is taking a bit long. We had Bitcoin halving. I'm going to feel stupid for not taking the Bitcoin halving trade. So I bought some spot Bitcoin based on that 4-day dynamic plus Bitcoin halving thesis I just showed you guys. It's good enough for me. There's other things that are confluencing too that we can talk about in the next stream. But for now, we have that. And we may see that weekly dynamic retest, but there's something else. Something else that we already saw is on the Mango Lifeline. If you guys are trading the Mango Lifeline, you already made your money back on the indicator. By the way, for those of you who are just joining us and missed the previous live streams, Mango Lifeline is a new indicator, but you essentially got a buy opportunity at 59,313. And we slightly front ran it, but of course you guys were keeping it Mango and not looking to trade perfectly on that level, right? So if you saw price come down there, you had a zone that you probably marked out. You weren't too specific, and you only made your money back because that bounced off the buy opportunity right over there, 59,313. But again, if you're trading the Mango Lifeline, you also still kept gunpowder for a deeper bid at 52,000, right? What is this telling you guys? That's what I love about the Mango Lifeline. It's telling you, it gives everyone the psychological know that, hey, you guys know that, hey, yes, I am going to buy here, but I should leave room for price to come further down because my invalidation is all the way down at 50K. It's literally telling you that, yeah, this is a buy opportunity. But you have another one downstairs, which means price could come down here and still be bullish. It's telling you the price could come down and still be bullish. And this takes a lot of stress off me as a community TA guy who has to constantly tell people that, hey, yeah, price could come down I'm buying here, but price could come down further. Well, now the indicator is objectively telling you guys the same thing. Yeah, this is a buy opportunity, but price could come down further and still be bullish, right? And the targets are actually the highs, which actually lines up with my thesis as well. So it kind of wraps my thesis together in one big, one simple way, right? Frank says, I believe the lifeline is a masterpiece. It's dude, you've not seen anything yet. We have improvements that are coming on this one. Really, really good improvements that will be coming. So stay tuned for those improvements. We appreciate the feedback, but we want to turn it into a masterpiece. Like, you think it's a masterpiece now, just you wait and see. And by the way, those of you who are looking for more information on the Mango Lifeline, you can go ahead and find that the mangoway.com/lifeline. Okay, there's a video right over here that Mock put up. Ripe opportunities, sweet returns, right? There's a lot of information here that you can go ahead and read. And yeah, the coupon is no longer working, right? Those of you who got in early, you guys got advantage of the coupon, as well as the lifetime deal, which is again no longer available. But yeah, we still have early bird pricing deals right now because we are still developing it and making it even better, right? Like I said, we are going to turn it. If you think it's a masterpiece now, it's going to be a even stronger masterpiece soon. Wait for version 2 or version 1.2 or whatever we decide to name it. But yeah, take advantage of these pricings while you can, because this is likely going to go up as well. Okay. Yeah, I think. Okay. Oh yeah, I do want to talk about this. Okay. Mango Dynamic now. By the way, all of you have the Mango Dynamic. You also get access to the Mango Equilibrium Indicator too. So make sure you PM me if you don't have access to the Mango Equilibrium Indicator. One thing that I am personally looking at is for essentially the equilibrium bands to wrap around the volatility area, right? On the 4-day as well as on the 3-day. If you look at the 3-day first, we can see that the last time we got the signal was right around the time I did the premium video for you guys, right? And I said, hey guys, I'm going to be going long Bitcoin. You got it right over here. Oh, it lined up perfectly actually. Right over there on the reclaim of the 3-day dynamic. That's how you use it, right? The reason I'm giving this to you guys for free with the Mango Dynamic, because it essentially gives you so much filtering ability and confluence ability where you're like, okay, should I get in, should I not get in, should I take the signal or should I not take the signal? Well, the equilibrium indicator is there now to give you that confluence. And right over here was the last signal. Now, if the volatility area comes and starts wrapping inside the equilibrium bands, that's going to be another confusing factor that, hey, we need to start scaling into our position, right? Again, we're not using only our indicators. We had other things, right? Everything together, guys. A big thesis over here, right? Now, this too is going to line up with that. The equilibrium, the volatility area coming and wrapping into the equilibrium band. So we'll have the equilibrium bands beginning to hug the volatility, right? That's what we're looking for. Now, look on the 4-day too. Same story. Where did the last 4-day signal come? Last 4-day signal was all the way here, guys. It was all the way here. Bitcoin was at 34,000. We may get it in a few 4 days, right? Again, this is lining up with that thesis. I'm looking for a few 4-day candle consolidations. It's not as close as the 3-day, but if it does start showing its face, please keep an eye on it if you guys have access to this, because it's going to be a very, very strong signal. Okay, very strong signal. So yeah, that's it. Any questions? John Gunnery says, nice presentation on the time value of money. I'm glad you phrased it that way, man. I don't like using, when I teach people concepts, I don't like using the the financial jargon or the technical analysis jargon, as you guys probably know from the Mango Seed program, right? We removed all the jargon, right? I removed all the jargon, all the candlestick pattern names, etc. I basically taught it to you guys without any of the goddamn jargon, because that just confuses people and makes the teacher feel good about himself or herself, that hey, look at me, I know all of these pattern names and these candlestick analysis names. Like, look, there's a Bat Gartner here and there's a Simpson guy here, blah blah blah. It's just to make people feel better, right? But I'm pretty sure everything can be taught simply. Everything can be taught simply, and that's the game. That's the aim over here. I'll teach you guys the names after, so you guys can sound smart to other people, right? But in the beginning, I like to break things down in a way where you guys don't even realize what I've taught you. And that's what I was essentially. So John Gardner, by the way, guys, kind of understands what I was trying to teach you guys over there, which is essentially the time value of money. The BART patterns. Sean's clearly been learning it. No, is it BART or BAT? Gartner, BAT. Oh God, I don't know, man. It's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, L, M, N, O, P. There you go. This is a pattern. This is bullish, guys. It's bullish as long as it doesn't take out this low here. But if it goes back in time and takes out this low instead, and we get a V and that, yeah, this is bearish. Trust me. It's too complex for me to explain to you guys, because you guys are idiots. I can't possibly explain it to all of you because this is too complex for your minds to understand. So I'll just scribble a bunch of shit, and it's bullish. And then price dumps, right? Well, I told you guys that if we take out the peak of the star pattern in the bat that's holding the rat in its claws over here, then of course it's bearish. I said that to you guys, but you guys didn't understand. Draw mango for this is your mango right here, dude. It's tilting down. We want it to break up. A, B, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3. I'm not trying to disparage any of this. By the way, all technical analysis has foundation. As what I'm trying to say is, people who try to make things sound too complex because they can't teach it themselves, or they want to sound smart because they don't understand it, right? I mean, we all do it. We all do it, man. Like, I'd be a hypocrite to say I never do it. But I rarely, 99.99%, I just don't talk about things I don't understand. Speaking of things that we don't understand, right, there's a lot to be said about things that do get disparaged, that do get a lot of ridicule. And one of the things that I do want to credit is, like things move in cycles. We all, there was a storm outside today. There was a storm outside. And those of you who've been following Mango for a while, since the beginning, since the inception of Mango, you guys will probably remember that we were using the storm, just jokingly, as a signal for Bitcoin beginning its rally. And it invariably ended up working out multiple times throughout, like, since 2018 and 2024. Every time there was a storm, right, in that period, like we had in 2018 and again in around 2021-ish, right? There was a storm, and Bitcoin was rallying. I made the joke the first time it happened. I'm like, holy shit, guys. So we played that entire rally, and some of you who are listening here probably remember, right? It happened twice. And now I'm seeing a storm coming again, and we may not understand how cycles work in the world, but everything moves cyclically. And weather patterns is something I'm not an expert in at all, but I'm pretty sure that moves cyclically as well, right? We know Bitcoin moves cyclically. We know the manufacturing cycle moves cyclically. We know the business cycle moves cyclically, okay? So when you put all of that together, when you amalgamate all of it together, all of these smaller cycles, all confluencing together, forms a larger cycle. Okay, and now something as ridiculous as the moon cycles may be influencing things as well that we just don't understand. Maybe there are few big decision makers who are looking at the moon and saying, "Hey, there's a full moon coming. We can do X, Y, Z," or maybe religiously it's affecting how people conduct business, etc., because of festivals, etc. We don't know how these cycles are affecting things, like the moon cycle, for example. I don't understand that at all. But I remember there were few people in the Mango community when we were still in Telegram. There were a few people who were looking at this stuff, okay, and other people were laughing at them, but I never laughed at them because I'm like, I don't understand this. I'm not going to disparage it. What I'm not going to do, I'm not going to use it myself. I'm not going to use it myself, but what I definitely won't do is say that they are wrong and leave no room for that being a valid theory. Okay, never do that, guys. Never do that. And honestly, over time, I'm beginning to become a believer in that somehow the moon thing is a way to identify that other cyclical factors are confluencing at the same time. Right? I'm not saying, again, you don't want to trade that. I wouldn't. You guys do what you want to. But what I'm saying is, don't discount things. Don't discount things. Back like a few thousand years ago, a few 500 years ago, they did, right? They looked at a guy and said, "Hey, how stupid could you be to think that the planet is a globe, to think that the planet is round? Of course the planet is flat. Just look at you. Just look at the planet. It's flat, right?" It's because we couldn't wrap our minds around the fact that the planet could possibly be a sphere. We couldn't wrap our minds around it. Now, 1,000 years from today, they could look at us and be like, "Can you believe that they thought there was no influence whatsoever with these cyclical patterns? There's a simple mathematical formula that explains it all." We may not have cracked that mathematical formula yet, but we will in the future. Or I'm not saying we will for sure, but we may. And we look like idiots for being so close-minded. So yeah, let's wrap up the stream on that note to leave room for every possibility. Krisha's in charge of the Bitcoin halving. Okay. I don't know, Chris. I don't know. I've been told that the Earth is not flat. Manjiro says, from what I've heard, leading into full moon bearish, leading into the new moon bullish. Don't ask me how I know. So what are we at? Are we doing a new moon right now or full moon? Jordy Goon is like, "Sean, your live streams are full of so much alpha. They're not worth missing. Appreciate the time and knowledge." Hey, dude, I appreciate you always having these tidbits of feedback, man. It's that kind of feedback that keeps me coming back here. This appreciation I get from mainly you, Frank. Like, it goes a long way, guys. It goes, honestly, it keeps me coming back over here. Because the kind of content that I give you guys is not for everyone, right? It's for people who are actually thinking long term, people who are actually looking and considering their wealth management, etc. I'm being silly, but I know four people who think that the Earth is flat. I try to explain using satellites that the Earth. Maybe they understand something we don't, man. We need to record Sean's life and name the show "Keeping Up with Sean." You sound like Krisha. Krisha said something very similar. Krisha said something very similar. You're supposed to buy the full moon window and sell. Okay, so it's a full moon. I think you said that upstairs. Yeah, full moon. So full moon is leading into what? But you said it's bearish. It's so confusing. Leading into full moon bearish, leading into new moon bullish. So are we going to get a new moon soon? What are we talking about? I'm like, guys, Screw the dynamic. Screw the halving. I want a new moon. And I want the Bart Simpson Gartner pattern as well. Oh, new moon, full moon next Tuesday is bullish. Oh, what? I'm supposed to buy the full moon, but you said it's bearish, dude. What kind of PhD do I need for this? Yeah, just use the moon. we gotta implement the moon cycles on the lifeline. The moon line. Okay. So leading into a full moon, it's buy the dip opportunities. Oh, there are actually the actual moon indicators? That's amazing. I'll check it out. All right, since we're here, I'm gonna also quickly talk about Sol. Non-mango lifeline. Let's see what's doing on the dashboard. Long on the weekly. What do you know? Volatility on the 4 hour just flipped neutral from short long. Ooh. 1 hour volatility. Let's go look at the chart. So here's the thing about Sol, guys. That it's resistance on the weekly, on the 4-day, and support on the weekly. So I'm looking for this to really claim the 4-day dynamic before I get ultra bullish on it. But until then, accumulating based on the weekly is something I do want to do. Okay, I'm just giving you guys my thesis on this. I'm just accumulating slowly and surely because Sol is also on the weekly dynamic on the Bitcoin pairing. So Sol BTC and Sol USDT are both on the weekly dynamic. I like that. You know why? Because I can be wrong and just blame Sol. I'm like, hey, I took the trade based on support over here, and if it loses, and this thing is freaking following it to the T, guys. Look at that wick. Look at that wick of the weekly dynamic, right at the bottom, right? So we held it. So I know now that if we close underneath the weekly dynamic over here on the Sol Bitcoin bearing, this change in behavior. This has been holding since like freaking October 2023, right? Remember, the first claim is always a fake out. Okay, the first claim, not always, but I would say at least 80% of the time is a fake out, right? Sometimes you'll claim it and just keep going, but I don't like playing for that. I like playing for the fake out and then the reclaim, the test, and boom. Now, could we break down here? We could, but if we do, I'll just exit. No, I take Sean and the community work very seriously. You get the pedigree you pay attention for. Did I miss something? Yeah. I love how much you take ego into consideration. Are you guys talking about me? Oh, did I miss something? Oh, okay. Alright, guys. So I'll see you guys in the Discord. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We talked about Bitcoin, we talked about Sol, and so much more to talk about, but I think we've done good. Mancho has been doing his back testing. It's good. Until the next time, do the mango way, do it the easy way, do it the stress-free way. Ciao all. Ooh, there, Krisha shows up right at the end. Cheers, you too, Chris. Cheers all for joining. And happy halving, guys. Happy goddamn halving. Cheers all.